Hey, it's Jang here from UltimateRC.com, and you can't quite see the front of this thing because it's white on white, but it is the Traxxas DR-1. This is a micro-sized coaxial 4-channel helicopter. If you recognize this thing from somewhere else, yes, it is pretty much the same thing as the Hoobson H203. The design and construction here is pretty typical for its class. It uses thin aluminum side plates for the main chassis. The dummy tail boom is also metal. The thin canopy comes off very easily, and here you can see the printed circuit board, and you can also see the servos. They're actual rotary servos, 2 of them running a 90-degree swash plate. Now the battery unfortunately does feed in from the front, so you do need to remove the canopy to get access to it. Fortunately, removing and reinstalling the canopy is very easy, and plugging the battery in doesn't immediately turn on the heli. For that, they've got an on-off switch. The included battery is a 450 mAh 1-cell LiPo. That'll give you about 5 to 6 minutes of flight time. And the charger is a USB adapter. This will take about an hour to fully charge a fully depleted battery. The controller is kind of no frills in its design, almost feels like a game controller, but most importantly, the sticks do feel very, very, very good for a low-end RTF setup. The movements are smooth, the springs are good, there's good traction on your fingertips. It's just very respectable. This has 4 digital trims plus a dual rate toggle. The controller uses 4 AAA batteries, but they do include a set for you, along with this tiny little Phillips head screwdriver which you need in order to remove and secure the battery door. Last and least, they do give you 1 full set, there's 4 in there, of spare rotors. Flight of the DR-1 on the default low rate setting is very slow, smooth, stable, simple, straightforward, serene maybe, super easygoing. Given its small size, I really didn't expect it to be quite this just gentle. Now the response time on all the controls is pretty good. There's a little bit of lag there, but not much. But the low rates really restrict all of your endpoints. Combine that with a pretty tightly assembled frame and smooth rotating and well-placed main rotors, and the DR-1 just really wants to behave. You know, there was a time when the easiest way to get into RC helicopters for real was to get a 4-channel coaxial model. Then came a whole world of 3-channel gyro-stabilized helis, and they became the de facto starting point because they were so cheap and literally anybody could fly them successfully. The DR-1 might just take that title back for the 4 channels. This is as easy to fly as a 3-channel without removing one axis of motion. When you push inward on the right control stick and then let go, well, that activates so-called expert mode, unleashing the high rates. That really kicks it up a notch. I mean, really, it's a big step up in performance. On the high rates, you can start to toss the DR-1 around, and this is definitely not a setting that you want to hand over to a beginner. In a larger area, I started to get straight up belligerent with the controls, seeing how far I could push it until the basic physics of coaxial designs started to bite me in the butt. These things always have their limits, and the only question with the DR-1 was whether the high rates were high enough to test those limits. In 10 seconds, you'll see the answer for yourself. No matter what I did, I was not able to trigger any blade strikes either on or off camera, but sudden control inputs on at least 3 channels would just kind of discombobulate the flybar. And that's exactly what you just saw there. That's the scientific term for it, discombobulated flybar. There's no damage being done, it's only a temporary condition, but do know that it will do this if you abuse it. Fly it just a little more smoothly and it'll be just fine. As of the time of this video, I've had about 10 crashes with this thing, and so far it's holding up about as well as any helicopter does, namely there's barely a scratch on it. It's not unbreakable, it's not built like a tank, but as RC helicopters go, I think you'll find that its durability proves to be on par. Up, going down, going down, going down, up. Ain't no thing. So I'm happy with the performance of the DR-1. Like I said earlier, for beginners, I think it's great. And once you get a handle on 4-channel control, it'll grow with you a little bit and give you a little more room to screw up. The last big question for me is that of value. Street price of this thing right now is about $85 US. Looking around at other 4-channel coaxials of similar, slightly larger and slightly smaller size, considering how well constructed this one is, even comparing it to the Hoobson original, I gotta say, I think the price is just about right. I wouldn't mind if it was $15 cheaper, $69.95. but as it is, it's still in the right ballpark. In all, I think Traxxas has done a real good thing getting this on the broader market, and I very much hope that it will help to expand the breadth of the RC heli hobby. Well, that's all I got for you. As always, I appreciate your time. Hope that was informative and or entertaining for you, and I hope I'll get a chance to yak at you again soon.